Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Beowulf episode 2 video. Just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. There were three big storylines this week. The A story was all about the council voting the new leader to the Council of Thanes. The B story was Beowulf uncovering the skin shifter that killed Ban. And the C story was Sleent running into the band of rogues with Scaran, who's played by David Harewood, who you probably recognize from Supergirl. I was really surprised when I spotted him, but I'm guessing that they shot all of his stuff before he started on Supergirl. So a lot of these episodes were probably shot around the middle of last year, maybe like last spring or last summer. But in the context of Beowulf, he is just one of the Thanes of the neighboring communities. He's just one of the other big leaders in the Council of Thanes. You can see that he had a good relationship with Sleent's father, probably knew Sleent growing up. So it's a really cool guest appearance and a good way to add some more complexity to Sleent's character, because after the first episode he seems kind of like a dick, now he seems a little more human, a little more well-rounded. Like Scaran here has memories of him doing good things growing up, so he's not all bad. And the same thing kind of happens as we meet the other council leaders. Some of the other people involved with the other council votes start writing in. All these new storylines actually bleed into the next episode. The council vote, the skin shifter, and this little side trip with Sleent and Scaran. Just to explain who all these new characters are. So as part of this A storyline, this Rate character, who actually sees the Mudborn from the first episode, just kind of teasing that plotline along, still a big mystery. He's Scaran's younger brother. The other people there are warriors from their village. Beowulf goes to the part of town where all the smelters work. You get this really Downton Abbey sense from it. You get a lot of contempt from those characters about people that work in and around the Great Hall. But this is Tam, the smelter. He's one of the suspects they're going to question. This is his mother, Kendra. They actually meet her first. For most of the episode, it seems like things are pretty bad between those characters and the characters up in and around the Great Hall, like Beowulf and the people that he's been interacting with for the most part. But nothing brings people together like an angry lynch mob, which is where the skin shifter comes in. It's like a classic episode of The Simpsons. Someone does something terrible, and the whole town just turns around. The big twist is that the skin shifter is the guy that was following Beowulf around the whole time, the new constable that's replacing Ban, and it seems like he's working for someone else, so plot thickens. But with the A storyline, the big twist is that Rate doesn't want to have anything to do with Rita. He's like, I'll kill you, we'll take your place in the council, we'll be voted in as leaders. But technically, it's his older brother Scaran who is the Thane, so he would be the one that would become the leader. So just in the context of the narrative, think of Rate as being like a Sleent type character. Someone who starts out like an antagonist, but is probably going to end up being relatively friendly. On the other side of that equation, I actually forgot to talk about Abrakan in my episode 1 video. He's Rita's brother. He seems shifty as hell. You have to remember that he is a Thane in his own right in the village that Rita comes from. And we have to circle back around to that opening scene, Hrothgar's burial, because it opens up the episode. It's a really big deal. They're performing some of the final burial rites. And if you see these stones around here, this is just part of Norse culture, part of their burial rites. This is meant to be like a stone ship. They burn the body, and then he begins to enter the halls of the dead. That's just part of their burial customs. There are still a couple really big mysteries relative to his character, but based on the way he's presented, the way other characters talk about him, it seems like he was a pretty strong leader, very well liked amongst the Council of Thanes, like the other leaders in the area. But then we have his secret son, Beowulf, so we still have to find out about that. That's going to be a big running plotline across the entire season. And they start to tee up some of the mystery behind the Mudborn, some of the mysticism around the Mudborn in the Lost Tribe, which is another huge piece of prehistory of the show that they casually slip in. Like this whole tribe of people that was brought to ruin because of what they tried to do with the Mudborn. So giant WTF, hopefully we'll make our way back to that big Giants Hall. It feels like a lot of things go back to there because that's supposed to be the seat of power for the ancient giant kings. But I like the way they're teasing out all these other groups of people. Like, where are you from? How did you end up here? Well, I was part of this other tribe of people. Even Elvina's past is relatively mysterious. She comes from a relatively mixed group of people. So I'm really excited to see what more mythology the show is going to weave out. Really, we're only in the second episode, so I'm expecting the next couple to continue to lay some groundwork and tease out some big storylines. I know everybody always wants to know what's going on right away, but usually, like when a new show comes on with a really dense mythology like this, they wrap everything up within the first season, most of the biggest questions. But let me know in the comments, do you think that the Mudborn are some remnant, along with the skin shifters, of the culture that predated man? There's a whole culture there that we don't know about. Like, we have this intelligent skin shifter that's protecting Elvina, then we have the wolf-like ones, then we have the offshoot, which is a skin shifter, which is kind of a different thing. But let me know what you guys think. And just a reminder, episode 3 is going to air this Saturday at 10/9 Central on the Esquire network. but it's been a lot of fun so far. It's actually a nice break from the comic book stuff that I do during the week. And if you have missed the first couple of episodes, they do have supplementary material on their website. It's esquiretv.com/Beowulf. So while you guys wait for my next video to post, just in case you guys haven't seen it, you can click here for my episode 1 video, and you can click here for my preview for the whole series. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.